Nuno Tavares to Nottingham Forest, here we go. Yes people, wife boy, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you love being kept up to date with daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is the place we make sure you subscribe down below on my road to 5,000 subscribers, and importantly hit the notification button so you don't miss a future video on this channel. And please let me know your thoughts in the comment section regarding Nuno Tavares' loan move to Nottingham Forest. Let's get straight into the tweet brought today by the great Fabrizio Romano, and it states this: Nuno Tavares to Nottingham Forest, here we go. Deal has been agreed with Arsenal on a loan deal until June 2024. Understand the loan fee will be a bit higher than £1 million plus a £12 million buy option at the end of the season. Medical tests being completed today. New left back for Forest and Murillo deal done since Friday. So let me know what you guys think about this one, right? Because Nuno Tavares, we know, has been out of the door for Arsenal. We're basically looking to sell him. And I thought we were going to get good money for him. But once again, Arsenal have gone with a loan deal for Tavares. We loaned out Kieran Tierney and now Tavares as well. This is bad business in my eyes. I understand that there's a buy option at the end of the season for £12 million. But I've watched Nuno Tavares at Arsenal. And in those spells, I saw a very raw and athletic player. A player that, at his best, could look like a prime Alphonso Davies. And at his worst, could look like a prime Andre Santos. If those of you remember that guy from Fenerbahce, man. What a terrible fullback he was. But that is the story of Nuno Tavares. I think if you coach him really well and he gets rid of those silly mistakes, he could be a one-of-a-kind fullback. I genuinely do believe so. I don't think he's the right type of player for Arsenal, just because of the system we play. We want players with a bit more control and a bit more ball retention. That's one of the other reasons why Kieran Tierney got let go of by Mikel Arteta, because he wants his fullbacks to have the ability to defend and have control of the ball and have that possession-style-oriented sense drilled into them from early, like Zinchenko. But letting go of Tavares on a loan deal doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, especially given the fact that we've let go of Tierney, Timber's going to be out for an extended period. Now you let go of another left back in Tavares. We've not got many fullbacks left at the football club. Now I do expect Arsenal to dip back into the market and sign a defender, but it's only 2 or 3 days left. So if that is going to happen, the time is dwindling, guys. If we were going to sign a fullback, surely we should be having concrete links to someone by now. But look, Nuno Tavares at the end of the day, he did need to leave the football club because he wasn't going to get minutes and it was right to get rid of him. A loan deal though, I'm not a fan of this one, especially given that he's going to Forest as well, a Premier League club. I would rather have sold him and got money for him. I do think there would have been clubs out there that would have been willing to spend some kind of money on Nuno Tavares. I mean, he went out on loan to what, Marseille last season? He didn't do horrible there. I don't know if they're going to go back into him with a permanent deal, but you never know. Because, look, Tavares could have a brilliant season this year, and then suddenly we've let go of him for 12 million when we could have got 20 million or something for him. It's just not very good business in my eyes. Letting go of Tavares on a loan deal. That's just my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. But a positive at least is that Arsenal are letting go of certain players. I already mentioned Kieran Tierney. Once again, I'm not a fan of a loan deal for him. Definitely would have looked at a permanent deal. Obviously, it seems though no clubs are looking to get Kieran Tierney permanently. But this is why I look at it and thinking, why is it when we try and sign clubs never want to loan to us? I mean, I know we got David Raya on a loan deal, but for the most part, we never seem to get any loan deals in. It's always permanent transfers with a lot of money up front. But when it comes to selling players, no one wants to buy our players permanently. It's always loan deals. Or if it is a permanent transfer, it's for an actual quality player. For example, like a Balogun or Granit Xhaka. Other than that, it's only loan deals. No one wants to take our players on a permanent basis. So I look at it from that sense and think Kieran Tierney's not a bad fullback. Like 2-3 seasons ago, under Unai Emery when he first came in, bar his injuries, he was looking like one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League. Really good, like up and down, bombing up and down, tenacious, good tackler, good crosser of the ball. It just seems that for the stage we want to get to, he doesn't quite meet the demands of what Arteta expects from a fullback. As I mentioned previously, the ability to not just defend well, but be able to go forward and go into midfield more often than not and have that ball retention ability that Kieran Tierney lacks. He's not really great on the football. He's a good crosser, but in terms of passing and positioning, that's not his style of play. He's not really a press-resistant fullback. So I understand get rid of Kieran Tierney, but for me, we should have got money for that guy, man. Definitely should have been a permanent deal because, he comes back next season. Even if he has the best loan deal of his life, I don't see Mikel Arteta implementing Kieran Tierney in the team long term, so loan deal doesn't make sense. I've always used loans as an opportunity to give young players the ability to flourish away from the football club because they won't have many minutes for us, and then they can come back and maybe integrate it back into the side. Do you get what I mean? I don't see the point of loaning out a player that you know has no future at this football club. That makes no sense to me. It's fine loaning out players like Charlie Patino because we know Charlie Patino is still a young player. He could come back from his loan deal at Swansea and we could see him start more minutes for us next season. You never know. But loaning out a player like Kieran Tierney or Nuno Tavares that we know, even if they have the best loan deal in the world, is not going to come back into the starting 11 for Arsenal. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I think they should have been permanent transfers. You get your 25 million for Kieran Tierney. You get your 10-15 million for Nuno Tavares. That's 40 million across the two of them. Then you reinvest that into a fullback that can be a viable replacement for Urian Timber. And we look at Benjamin Pavard. It looks like Pavard's on his way to Inter Milan, right? That's not going to cost an awful lot of money. That's definitely 30 million or less. We could have snuck in and got that deal over the line. You never know. At least try. I think Pavard would have been a brilliant option. He works perfectly as a right back, as centre back. He's obviously got the height, the ball playing ability. He's used to playing for a top club like Bayern Munich. I think that would have been a good deal for us all to try and pull off. But obviously that's neither here nor there. We haven't pursued that one. And instead we've gone for other targets. So I can't be too disgruntled. However, I do hope that Arsenal do pursue these other targets we've got in mind. Of course, I dropped a video yesterday on Eric Garcia as a potential viable option for Arsenal. That has developed a little bit today. Not to the point where it's a concrete interest that Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein has spoken about it. But other journalists have said that a viable option for Arsenal could be Eric Garcia. But here's the thing, right, guys. It's the 29th of August. There's only 3 or 4 days left of this transfer window. I believe it's time shut on the 2nd of September, if I'm not mistaken. We ain't got an awful lot of time. We genuinely don't. So we've got to get a move on because clubs do not want to sell on deadline day. Deadline day has been notoriously hard to pull off transfers. And if you do pull off a transfer, you're paying well over the odds because these clubs do not want to sell their assets this late in the window. So for Arsenal Football Club, I do feel like we need to get moving quickly. I understand that selling first is a priority, but you got to at some point make a move because you can't keep waiting and waiting and waiting because the longer it takes, the harder it is to pull off a transfer. I mean, look at last season, right? We didn't even want Douglas Luiz at all. Got to deadline day. Suddenly we wanted Douglas Luiz. We put in 3 bids on deadline day. Nothing materialised. Nothing went through. Do you get what I mean? So you got to look at it from the sense of my eyes, at least making a move now. Get some negotiations going. Get some sides. Get some of the terms agreed on the player deal. Inquire about what the club is looking like in terms of the transfer ballpark. We're looking around that the fee wise, and then go from there. Because you don't want to leave it all to the last minute because that just spells disaster and that spells being scammed and spending too much money. In other transfer news, apparently Rob Holding could be on his way out of Arsenal Football Club with 2 Spanish clubs interested in him. For me, that's another one of just get rid of him. I don't care if it's 5 million or 4 million. I don't care, man. Just get rid of Rob Holding, get him off the wage bill. Let him move on with his career and go somewhere else. I'm completely fine with that. I understand Arsenal rejected, was it like a £2.5 million deal for Rob Holding earlier on to Besiktas? I know this 2.5 million is a low ball offer, but it's Rob Holding. We don't want him to get minutes for our football club. I'd rather just let him go, to be honest with you guys. So even if it is 2.5 million or 5 million, I'd let the player go and move on. That's just my personal opinion on it. But what Arsenal do is obviously up to them. I obviously have my own opinion on Rob Holding, as would you guys, right? Some people believe that he should stay for his locker room presence and obviously being a good guy to have around the dressing room. I personally just look at it this way and think, if you're not going to get minutes, if you're not going to contribute, you're just burning a hole in the wage bill, basically. It's not like he's a young player either that you can hope to develop one day. He's just burning a hole in the wage bill. And for me, therefore, he just needs to go. So let's see what develops there as well. Of course, I'll be keeping you guys up to date with Arsenal transfer news as soon as I hear it on this channel. So make sure you subscribe and importantly hit the notification button so you don't miss any future videos. I've been Michael. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Take care.